My evolving relationship with money. From scarcity to abundance. Money. Just the word itself can trigger stress, guilt, or excitement depending upon where you are in life. For me, my relationship with money has been complicated. I have been good at making money, hustling, finding ways to earn when I needed to, but for a long time, my narrative was that I didn't know how to spend money. I saved relentlessly. At one point, I had a year's worth of salary sitting in my savings account, and that's all it did sit there, collecting a tiny bit of interest. I told myself I was being smart. I stayed in a small apartment, convinced that comfort was enough. I thought I was being practical, but really I was clinging to money, afraid to let it move, afraid to let it grow, afraid to let it serve me. That was my limiting belief. I mean, if you give me unlimited money today, I'm absolutely sure I would know how to spend it to what matters most to me. But the mindset of, I don't need much because I wouldn't know how to spend it, kept me stuck at a plateau with money and how I earned it. Let's get something straight. I know happiness comes from inner peace, but money is the essential tool to reach your maximum potential and maintain that inner peace. Back then, the same me who hesitated to spend $150 on a dress wouldn't blink at dropping the same amount on dinner one night. Looking back, I see it clearly. I was being penny wise and pound poor, saving where it didn't matter and holding myself back from spending where it could have elevated my life. Money is energy. Money isn't good or evil, it's energy. This is one of my biggest realizations. Just how energy is neither created nor destroyed, it flows and transforms. Similarly, money flows, the transformation of its value and worth are decided by you. A pant from a thrift store is worth $5, or the same pant once worn by Kim Kardashian is worth $5,000. The decision of worth is subjective. The energy of money changes depending upon how it's earned and spent. The money you get from your first gig carries a completely different energy than the money you stole from someone's bag. One feels proud, expansive, and abundant. The other feels heavy with guilt. That's why money deserves respect. Money is responsibility. Your responsibility. Money is a tool to do everything you want to do with your life and reach your fullest potential. It's not the end goal, it's the vehicle that gets you there. And the driver of that vehicle is your thoughts. Yes, your thoughts. If it is positive, it will drive really fast. If it's negative, it will brake a lot. The clearer you are about what you want to do with your money, the more the universe aligns with you. Details matter. If you want a dream house, don't just say, I want a house. Visualize the exact floor, the windows, the cabinet colors, the neighborhood. Go research it, visit it, get familiar with it. Knowing all the step by step how is not entirely your job. That's the universe's. Your job is to hold the vision, stay clear, and take one step at a time towards it. Money responds to clarity. The clearer your intention, the stronger the energy you attach to it, and the faster it moves in alignment with your life. Shedding generational money trauma. We often hear about generational wealth, but we don't talk enough about generational trauma around money. I grew up in a comfortable life in Bangladesh. Nice apartment, nice car, everything I needed for a good childhood. For that, I am grateful. But one thing I was never taught at school or at home was how to actually manage money. The passive lessons I absorbed were these: be a doctor or engineer, work hard, get a stable job, make honest money, business is risky, you'll probably lose money, save it for the imaginary rainy day when the world falls apart. While a lot of it is true about honesty and stability, that's not enough truth. Yes, saving for emergencies is smart, but saving alone is not enough. That mindset kept me clinging to money instead of letting it grow me. It took me years to learn that safe money doesn't grow, brave money grows. Now, I don't mean gamble everything in Vegas and throw your life savings into some known in crypto. I mean using money as a tool to expand your potential and elevate your life in meaningful ways. If you want to be a chef and YouTube isn't enough, invest in a practical course. If you're struggling with mental health, spend on a therapist instead of saving it all for a future hospital bill. If you want to share your art, pay a developer to build a website instead of wasting years doing it yourself. Focus on your art, delegate the rest. If you need a nanny so that you can create for 2 focused hours, hire one. If you don't know how to handle money, pay money to learn about money. Money is a tool. Use it. Don't let inherited fears stop you from living fully. Earn money with urgency. Here's the story. My dad spent all his savings, retirement funds, house mortgage to pay off for my sister's college. Then, when it came to sending me to college, he had nothing. But he found a way. He got a job in Saudi Arabia, was brave enough to take the leap of faith urgently, elevated his life, sent me off to college, and then had enough to travel the world with my mom. Now, have you ever noticed that when your back is against the wall, when rent is due, bills are looming, and you have to make money, you somehow find a way? You gather the courage to ask for help. You sell the thing that was never worth losing your home for. You suddenly get an idea, act on it immediately, and boom, you land the gig, close the deal, make the sale. That urgency creates magic. It pulls money towards you. So why wait until you have cornered to activate that drive? I've learned to channel that same sense of urgency into my aligned goals, to treat my everyday life with the same fire I would if it is my only chance and last day to leave my maximum potential. Because the truth is, urgency fuels creativity. It forces action and it attracts opportunities. The point is simple. Don't wait for an emergency to use your full motivation. Bring that energy into your daily life. Let urgency and alignment work together to pull money towards your vision. Educate yourself on how to make money work. When I finally started testing new ways to make my money work, I realized another important lesson. Financial education is the most important investment. I dipped my toes into investments, first moving money into a higher interest savings account, then trying out cryptos, NFTs, then buying individual stocks. Most experiments failed miserably. The stocks I bought went downhill during pandemic. My crypto investments were impossible to keep up with, so I chose the investment that works for me. Here's what mattered. I learned by trying. I read books, listened to podcasts, watched YouTube, and tried small experiments with little amount of money from my savings. Each step taught me something about how money flows, how it grows, and what strategies were right for me. Eventually, I shifted into smarter investments. Thankfully, my husband, who is now a finance bro, helps balance it out too. He focuses on things like the S&P 500, safer and steadier growth. Then, what I originally saved for the house, I ended up using that money for my master's degree instead. Handing over my entire life saving was painful. I cried over it. I knew it was an investment, but I still felt a deep sense of loss, like I was giving away a part of my security. But that degree, it paid me back many times over. A few years later, I had made all the money back and more. What felt like a huge loss became one of my smartest investments of life. Experiences over things. Here's what I have always been consistent. Travel. I have spent thousands on flights, hotels, adventures, and never once regretted it. Because it aligns with my soul. It feeds my soul. It creates memories, experiences, and growth that no material object can compete with. But when it comes to buying things, clothes, furniture, gadgets, I overthink everything. I go through analysis paralysis. Will I really use it long enough? Is it worth the price? Will I move it to the next city or abandon it? After moving so many times in life, I have had to throw away or leave behind thousands of dollars worth of perfectly good stuff. That memory sticks with me every time I consider buying something new. It's why I lean towards minimalism. It's less stressful, less clutter, and less guilt. And yet, I'm still learning. I'm learning how to spend on myself, to allow myself beautiful clothes, jewelry, shoes, and bags that make me feel elevated, not guilty. It's a work in progress, but I'm slowly teaching myself that money spent on making me feel good isn't wasted. It's part of living abundantly. Lucky for me, my husband is the opposite. He likes to live big, buy the fancy things, and elevate our home with nice furniture and decor. Together, we balance each other out. While I really enjoy the fancy things he buys for us without fear, which elevate my life and even my confidence, on the other hand, I question each purchase intentionally, asking, do we really need this or not? The duality brings both abundance and clarity into how we live. Scarcity versus abundance. For years, I treated money like something fragile to cling to. But life taught me that money is always moving. If you don't spend it on yourself, you'll end up spending it for someone else. Either way, it flows. So why not let it flow towards elevating your life? I started to see money through the lens of abundance. Instead of stressing every dollar, I began to believe the money I need is always around me. The path to earning more always reveals itself. Money grows when it's moving, not when it is hiding under the bed. This abundance mindset changed everything. The more I started noticing and acknowledging how much I already have, the more I started attracting. I stopped overthinking every purchase and I started prioritizing experiences, education, and investments over objects. I started giving back, donating, sharing, investing into things that create more opportunities because scared money doesn't grow. Being wise, not fearful. Now let me be clear. Abundance doesn't mean reckless. It doesn't mean hurting your family with bad financial decisions. It means being wise but not paralyzed. It means buying experiences that feed your soul instead of only collecting things that collects dust on a shelf. You should plan to enjoy and appreciate the things you have purchased as much as you can. Then it's worth it. It means investing for tomorrow, but also living your best life today. Money is a tool, not a prison. When you treat it as abundance, you start seeing how much of it you already have and start letting more come to you, serve you, your loved ones, and your dreams. Final thought. I'm still learning. My relationship with money is still evolving, but I have learned this much. The way you see money determines how it shows up in your life. If you see it as scarce, you'll always feel like you don't have enough. But if you see it as abundant, you'll always find ways to create, grow, and elevate. So don't just cling to your money. Learn about it, respect it, love it, make it move, make it grow, and let it make your life fuller. Money is a pretty damn important thing. You'll need to treat it as such. Because in the end, money isn't about numbers, it's about how you live. Money mindset shifts to try today. Educate yourself about money. Read books, listen to podcasts, watch YouTube, and experiment with small amounts of savings until you learn how money flows, grows, and works for you. Invest in yourself. Education, skills, and growth always pay back more than you think. Respect money's energy. Treat it with integrity, clarity, and responsibility. Details matter. The clearer your vision, the more powerful money aligns with you. Be responsible with it for your better life. Use money as a tool, not the end goal, but the means to reach your fullest potential and live the life of your dream. Don't be penny wise and pound poor. Cut back where it doesn't matter, but don't starve yourself of investment that elevate your life. Buy experiences, not just things. Memories compound in value. Objects depreciate. See money as abundant. Believe that the money you need will always find its way back through new opportunities as long as you keep acting on it. The more you appreciate the money that you already have, the more will come to you. Spend on yourself without guilt and wisely. Allow space for beauty in your life through clothes, jewelry, or little luxuries that remind you abundance is meant to be lived. Be grateful by noticing abundance of things you already have. Break generational money trauma. Let go of inherited fears and instead use money bravely, responsibly, and meaningfully. Save money stays small. Brave money grows. Earn with urgency. Bring the same energy you would in a crisis into your daily aligned goals. Don't wait for survival mode to show yourself what you're capable of. This is Maisha Taranum. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. I am so happy that you're here.